Hi guys, this is Patricia from Yarny Cat Crochet, and this is an acquisition video. So for those of you that have been paying attention to the videos, my mom, well, first we had my son's graduation from college. Congratulations, Craig. Mom is so excited. Yes, I still call myself mommy. So he graduated. It was wonderful. Hold on, I'm going to adjust this. Close your eyes if you get seasick. He graduated from IUS Southeast College. It's Indiana University Southeast. There's several of them, main one being in Bloomington, Indiana. But anyway, he graduated, and it was the most magical graduation that I've ever attended. I've only attended one for him because he did homeschool for college. For high school, toward the latter end of his high school. And those of you that are aware of the Henryville tornado, it took out his school, and after that he wasn't real thrilled about going back. So he just did the rest of it online. But he was the kind of kid that was motivated, and he got himself up in the morning. He got his homework done. I never had to worry. Low maintenance kid. And then when he finally did decide to get to college, he got on the dean's list and graduated with 4.0, and is going to be a teacher in Japan. So super excited. But anyway, he decided that he would let me attend he would actually go to this graduation and so that I could have that experience. At first he was doing it for me, but once he did it, he was so glad he did it, and it was just so awesome. I'm here to tell you guys, it's tornado season, and we had been having lots of storms. The year before, the graduation the year before at the college, there was a tornado the day before the graduation, and they had to clean up the campus in order to have the graduation. Well, this year there was a tornado the day after the graduation. I mean, it's just Tuesday, usually, although this was a Monday that we had the ceremony, but the tornado happened on Tuesday. I'm not fooling when I say tornadoes are just a regular Tuesday around here. But anyway, it's a serious situation. I'm just joking because it helps me deal with tornado season. But so huge story about that. So we went to graduation, and it was rainy. It was drizzly actually the whole day, and we got wet. After the first 10 minutes, you kind of accepted it. And because they were going to have the graduation, rain or shine, it was outdoors. And I was wearing a pretty linen dress with a sweater, if you've seen the pictures. And so for the first 10 minutes, I was not a very good Christian. And I was just, but once I, got into it and accepted the fact that I was just going to get wet, that I was already wet, and so this was happening, and it's my son's graduation, so I should just enjoy it. We all started enjoying it, and you'll see cars going past my window and lights shadowing on the wall, but we all started enjoying it. Every time somebody's kid, I don't know how graduations go overseas, but we're loud in America, and when our children walk across the stage, we let the whole world know how proud we are. You may have been hearing the cheers from whatever part of the country you live in. But anyway, so I was worried that because we didn't have a lot of people come to the graduation because we were having a graduation party, because we knew most people worked during the day. And so we had the graduation party in the evening on the next day. Remember, I said the tornado happened the day after the graduation. More on that in a second. So So we, you know, we're cheering. And then if somebody in our area of seating, because there were several sections, if their child was up there and they were cheering, we just cheered with them to make the cheers louder. I was worried that ours wasn't going to be as loud, but when it came to my son, who surprisingly wasn't in the back with his last name starting with a P, I thought he would be in the way back, but I guess it goes by grades, and so he was more closer in the front. I don't know how it works, but he was. And so when he walked across the stage, I jumped up to cheer. The 5 people we had with us jumped up to cheer, and then the lady's family who was sitting next to us, they all jumped up to cheer. So it was loud enough my son heard it and I was like, yay. It was just, oh, it was amazing. And what was even better is they shortened graduation because it was raining. So all those unnecessary, I mean, they had speeches, but they were shortened, and all the unnecessary ones were cut out. And when the last girl walked across the stage, they go, her name, what her degree was, and this will be the last, this is our last student. The whole audience jumped up and cheered for her as she walked across the stage. It must have felt great for her, even though we were cheering because it was over, because we were getting wet. But we were all having fun by that point. And they gave, I want you to know, they gave every single one of those children a gymongous, well, they're not children by this point, they're adults, but still, they're our babies, right? Gymongous party poppers. You should call them party cannons. They were about yay tall and about that big around, and they exploded when they did their popper thing. I'm just saying, it looked like one of those firework fountain candles. But anyway, they set them off, and there was a glitter confetti streamer explosion. It was so magical. It was so awesome, but at the same time, a very scary thought, because we're at a graduation. There were I won't say which country, but they were anti that, and it's just to not start a conversation in the comments. If you guys get negative, you'll just get booted out, so just probably ignore this part. But anyway, there were protesters, but because we live in Indiana, the areas that we live in don't tend to put up with that stuff, so there wasn't a lot of them, and they stayed. I want to give them credit for the fact that they stayed in their little section. They weren't messing with the graduation itself. They were off on campus in a little community square thing, which is their right, and they didn't accost us as we were walking past them to get in to the outside arena area. And they just said their piece where they were standing. They weren't too loud. They didn't mess with us. They didn't mess with the graduation. The graduation went off without a hitch. So in that sense, I give them credit for that. And I was appreciative. And my son got to graduate, and his graduation wasn't ruined like many people's across the country have been. So that is quite a blessing. But anyway, then afterwards, after they graduated, we met them inside, and there was cake. I don't know if I put the picture up of that, but they had cake for everybody and punch. And then that was that day. And after that, my brother was in from DC, and he took us to a Thai restaurant because my son loves Thai food. And we ate and then went home to rest because the next day was the party. Now, remember, I told you the tornado happened the day after the graduation. So we were having our party, and we rented a community center, which was an old church that they turned. And when I say old, I mean maybe 60s, 70s built, not ancient church like some of my friends got, and I'm so jealous that they have them. But anyway, since it was an old church, it had stained glass windows. You could still rent out part of it for wedding venue, because they have the chapel part with the stained glass windows, and it's really pretty. It's all my favorite colors, oranges and yellows. That's why I'm thinking it came from like the 70s or something, but I love those colors. So, you know, it would, if I was doing my wedding now, which we've been married for 30 years, but if I was doing it now, I would rent that place out because it's very inexpensive. But anyway, we rented out the kitchen, dining room, stage area of the place where they must have put on Sunday school plays or something. But it had a kitchen and it had tons of tables, and we didn't even need that many tables because my son had a select list of people that he invited. So it wasn't huge. It was just nice. And my brother made this display of my son's baby pictures from when he was little to when he graduated. So that was so awesome. And I just realized that I have been talking for 11 minutes and not showed the acquisition, and many people are probably gonna check out. So I might do a second video, make this the first video and separate. I'll finish talking about it, and then I'll do the acquisition video. So you guys will be seeing the beginning of this and thinking, oh, I'm gonna get to see something. I'm gonna do it, well, I may just leave it in. I'll put the timestamp. That's what I'll do. So everybody will know that the acquisition part is in the second part. So anyway, we had the graduation party, and all day they were talking about, we're going to have severe weather. We're going to have severe weather. And around here, you listen. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. You head straight to jail. No. You listen to the weathermen, because even if it is a false alarm, which we don't have very many, so that's why it was in quotes. Even if it is, then you just got in a safe place for 15 or 20 minutes. You know, it's better just to listen, especially around here. So they kept saying it, and the party lasted till 9 o'clock. It was 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. We had been there since 3 setting up. And so we're like, it doesn't look like it's going to hit, so we went home. We do not have a basement. We don't have a safe place. There's one tiny closet, which would fit my husband and the dog, or me and the dog, you know, not all three of us and the dog and the cat. You know, it's very small space. So, but at the party, okay, right before the party, the mayor came in of the town. I really love her. She's done so much for this town. But anyway, she said, I am opening up the basement and I'm putting blankets and water and games for the kids downstairs. And I'm going to leave the lights on down there, and you all just shut off your lights that you used up here, but leave those on. I was like, cool. So I'm like, neat. Our town has a tornado shelter. I've been living here for 10 years. Was scared half to death for every tornado. Did not know about the tornado shelter in the arts building. But anyway, so when we went home, we were there for maybe 5 minutes after we had put some stuff away, and my son's phone alarm went off, because our phones go off when there's a tornado warning. And so we were like out the door into the van, because we knew straight where we were going, back to the party venue that we had just left, like, you know, 5 or 10 minutes before. And so as we're driving on our way, then the town sirens went off. And it's freaking us out even more. But luckily, we just made a beeline for the arts center, and went down into the basement. The stairs were a little hard to negotiate, but I was scared, so I got my butt down the stairs. And in that room, there was a TV that had the news already on it. And, well, it had TV on it. My son switched it to the news so we could watch the weathermen talk about when it was going to be safe to go back home. And the tornado struck down. Most everybody knows I live in Charlestown. Tornado struck down, was heading straight for Charlestown. And I prayed because I was just like, oh goodness, this is the one. It's going to take out our town, you know, because we've seen that so many times before with towns around our area that I was terrified. And I was praying, had my head down in my lap. We were the first ones there because his phone went off and we listened. And then people started coming in and we were directing them to the water if they needed a blanket, the games for the kids. So let me tell you, nobody touched those games till later. But nobody was going to do it while we were under danger, right? And so it was a miracle. The tornado that was heading towards us dissipated before it hit our town. I mean, it was making a beeline for us, and we were for sure going to get it. And it just broke up as quick as it popped up out of nowhere. They gave us a warning at the last minute because it just tornadoes are unpredictable. It just popped up out of nowhere. It was heading straight for us. It was like somebody held a gun to your head and they decided not to rob you. You know, tornado went away, and we lived to tell the tale. But since the tornado warning was in effect till 3 a.m., we weren't leaving right away. Me and my son were like, no, we can be down here. We got out the Uno cards and we played 2 games of Uno before we realized, we looked at the weather radar, there wasn't anything coming for us. And so we went home and we still stayed awake till 3 a.m. just to be on the safe side, because we was heading back if a siren had popped up. So anyway, that is our story about graduation and the graduation party. By the way, his graduation party was a hit. It was awesome. Everything was just so magical. I just couldn't have asked for a better. God gave me a gift in my son and a gift for him for his graduation and his party. And he was so glad. He did it for me, but he was so glad he did it because he enjoyed it so much. Okay, so I'll put a timestamp on here of 17:35 because that's where we're at. So this was supposed to be an acquisition video. So my mom came and we had Mother's Day, and you know what? I might make this just about the stories, and I'll put it part 1 or something and then do a part 2 because this has gone so long and it's just about my stories. But anyway, so we had Mother's Day. My mom came down. We had a wonderful time. We went fishing because it was so nice on Mother's Day and it was free fishing day in Indiana. We went fishing, caught a ton of fish, released them all. I'm happy to say they all lived for those of y'all that don't like fishing. It's just that we just didn't have time. I don't usually fish unless I'm going to eat the fish. I was raised up that way. What you kill, you eat, you know. But, we just didn't, we realized at the end of it, we had good intentions, but we realized at the end of it that we weren't going to be able to get these fish filleted. And because I have a floating fish basket, it keeps them all alive. It's like a live well, and we let them go and they swim away to catch somebody else to catch another day or not to be catched at all in their life. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. And I normally don't fish for fun. I fish to eat the fish because I don't like catching them and not, you know, putting them through that and not eating them. But it's just the way it happened this time. So anyway, we went out to eat. We went to the Falls of the Ohio Museum, which is going to be in another video because I am so thrilled by that experience. We had such a great time. So we did quite a few things when my mom was here. But one of the things we did is we went to Michael's, and that is where the next video is going to start. And I am going to end this video right here. Oh shoot, I wanted to tell you guys that scripture. I will try. I looked at it and I forgot already. I think it was 1 Corinthians 3, verses 6 through 7. 6 and 7. My favorite Bible verse. Look it up. I believe that's what it is. If it starts with something about I planted, Apollos watered, then you're in the right place. And let me know what you think of it. But anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you're being a little joy bomb in your corner of the world. And stay tuned to the very next video, because it's going to be a really cool acquisition video of what I got at Michael's for Mother's Day. My son bought it for me. So check that video out. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.